This is Season 6 of the Team Roping Journals podcast, The Score. With over 2 million downloads, this is where team ropers talk. Hey everyone, this is Chelsea Shaffer. Welcome to The Score. Today's episode is brought to you by Fastback Ropes. I'm going to tell you more about their rope selection at the commercial break. Okay, everybody, I am back on The Score. Taylor has done such a good job of keeping everything afloat while I have been just busy in print land, doing all sorts of things for the magazine and all sorts of travel. So I am so very grateful for her, but I am back this week on The Score, and today's episode is with the Cheyenne champs, Billy Bob Brown and Kirby Blankenship. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about why this was such a emotional win for them, but more, I was so excited about it, and I don't get to tell you a lot about just different inner workings of things that go on at the magazine, but I'm going to tell you about Billy Bob Brown because I don't remember how long ago it was, 10 years ago. Billy Bob kind of first really broke onto the scene, and he was roping with Logan Medlin, and this kid at the time was so easy to work with and willing, and a lot of what we do for as much content, and that's magazines, now it's podcasts and videos and lots of pictures that we put out. A lot of what we do requires a lot of me asking for favors because there's so many guys who are so busy and I need all their help all the time. And Billy Bob and Logan both back then were so easy to work with. They made my job easy. They would answer phone calls. They would show up for photo shoots. When they won the college finals, they were articulate. They had thought about their answers. They were just well-spoken. So Billy Bob has always been fabulous. In 2020, he was helping out at the national finals. He was filling in for Matt Sherwood as the event rep, and he was working with the cattle and making sure all the steers were lined out every night. And he would come and do the steer report with me. He was always so ready to do it. He had his notes. He cared about my steer report, which might not sound like a big deal, but just getting people to help me do stories to help the whole sport of team roping is, I don't know. I'm a fan. It makes my job easy. Anybody who makes my job easy is one of my is one of my go-to guys. So when Billy Bob won, I was so excited for him. Kirby as well. I had never met Kirby, but I had a day in Cheyenne free a couple years ago, and I had a videographer. And the videographer was already booked. The project got canceled that he was on, and I was going to have to pay him anyways. So my producer, Mariah, she called me and she said, "Hey, I need some guys. We're going to shoot some instructional stuff for roping.com. Who can you get?" And I looked at the day sheet and was like, man, there's a lot of circuit guys on here. Not sure who's up today. But then I saw Lane Ivey was on the list, and Lane is another one of those guys who's easy to work with and does everything. And he had this kid healing for him named Kirby Blankenship. Didn't know Kirby. But Lane said, sure, we'll come run some practice steers for you and talk. And Lane and Kirby came and spent the afternoon with us. They did a wonderful job. I remember Mariah texting me saying, this Kirby kid is so great to work with. And he was. And I know we had a great time at the Regatta Buckle when Kirby won the Regatta Buckle heading. And I'm going to say it again, I am a fan of people who make my job easy. And so when these two won Cheyenne yesterday, I mean, obviously Caleb and Junior were second. They do make my job easy as well. So no, I was always pulling for them. But when Billy Bob and Kirby won, especially knowing that Billy Bob has taken some time off, has been off the trail for quite a few years now, and that Kirby is building a business as far as a horse training business goes and really hoping to rodeo a little bit too, I was stoked for them. So that is enough about my personal feelings about these guys winning, but I don't often get to share them. So I did want to throw that out there, that it was great for some good guys who are helpful and kind and well-intended to win the daddy of them all. So here is our interview with Billy Bob Brown and Kirby Blankenship. I think, Billy Bob, even the announcer knew you were going to have like a lot of feelings about today. Why? Like, why do you think everybody knew? Like, I was very emotional for you, but why do you think everybody understood the significance of this for you right now?
Well, I think one of the biggest deal is, for me, was my dad, in all my years rodeoing, he's never came to one. And he said, if you make the semifinals, I'll come out. And then we advanced, and then it was just kind of a surreal moment, I guess, because family is the biggest thing in my life. We've all lived by each other. Only time we spent apart was me going to college, and it's 45 minutes. We all live on the same place, and that's kind of how my grandpa made it. And it was just a big deal to have everybody here. And like I said earlier, you want to have confidence and believe in yourself, but something like this is just kind of surreal feeling. We like to stay humble as we can, and it's a blessing for sure, but it's crazy, I guess, but to have all the family here, and Mom came, and it was just crazy. Yeah.
Kirby, I have obviously known him quite a bit longer, but what does this mean for you at this point of your career?
I think it's a pretty big deal because, I've came here 2 times. One time was with Lane Ivy, and I'll never forget, we talked to Tony Rana the other day, and we ran his steer, and he went straight left, and Lane headed him, but I missed him because he went left so hard. And to come up here and to have, we drew pretty good steers, and for my second time coming, I think it was pretty special to be able to win it. There's people that will never be able to get to do that, and we just you can't even talk, you can't even make words come true, because it's just, you don't really know what it feels like, but it's just cool to get the opportunity we had, and the steers and the horses and just our run. It worked today.
Billy Bob, let's start basic. Walk me through the week. What was your qualifying steer? What all has happened? Well, since the 16th, I guess it's been.
We ran our first steer on the 16th, and then came back to the semifinals. And honestly, we barely got by. We won 4th the first semifinals, and then the quarterfinals, I guess, was first. We won 4th there. Then won.
And you were going fast, right? Remember, because that's where your hat flipped up.
Yeah, I gave it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I about got a stampede string. No, actually, yesterday or Friday when we roped, when it was hailing and stuff, my hat got real loose, and I was like, oh, now I'm going to have my hat flip up, then this time I'm going to lose it. So I had to run to the restroom and the porta potty and get some toilet paper and stuff my hat so it wouldn't fall off. I'm like, I'm not losing it for sure. It can flop up, but I'm not losing it. So, yeah. But we ran that steer that we had today the other day, and we thought he was on the better end of them if I got a good go like I did the other day. And then he kind of pulled a little dip and twirl on us, a little left and right, and then it worked out. But I was nervous when I threw it, to be honest.
Your head loop hurt him so much last time that he was
he was gun shy.
So
we'll go with that one.
Yes.
We'll go with that.
Yeah. And then today, so you said is your horse a little bit, your horse has a lot of forward to it, right? A lot of forward. Talk about that and how that worked, or
yeah, well, kind of that's how I've based my heading on a lot, really. I guess when I first started, Charlie helped me a lot, and just trying to set the steers up and not really crunching them down to where Kirby can keep riding, and that's kind of how our run's been the last several years. So we don't really try to change that much. And that steer, he actually hit funky the first time, and then Cole Sherwood and them had him, and he hit funky again. So the main thing to me was stick and kind of step ahead. But today, when I was stuck and he stepped back to the right, it kind of scared me because I hit him harder than I wanted to. But it ended up working out. But we like to keep forward motion a lot if we can, just to not kill the runoff and just keep my horse from ducking at the other rodeos.
Kirby, talk about, did you have any hiccups this week or anything that scared you? Give me your highs and lows of the week, I guess.
Actually, that steer for sure twice now. On Friday we ran him, and I kind of dallied like a Weenie Hut Jr., but I got some redemption today, and I dallied really good, but I did get a bonus right leg. So
today?
Yeah. If you go back and watch the video, the slow-mo, it doesn't look as bad, but in my eyes, when I threw it, I was like, wow, I just did that. And when I dallied, it came tight, and I was like, I got it.
First time he's ever pulled back.
Yeah,
he got
Bob.
rid of the horse show move and actually pulled back. I'm like, thank God you're rodeo now. Pull back one time.
Bob said it was the first pullback I've given him, so he was super pumped about that.
Did you pull back on the bridle reins too?
Yeah, I
Oh,
did.
Yeah,
yeah.
I have to watch. I didn't watch the slow mo. Like
It was a big pullback for me, a minor for junior probably.
Trigger's used to it though, because
Yeah.
when I hill on him back home, he gets it.
he gets pulled
in the
back.
When
12
I
point.
catch 2
Yeah,
feet.
12 point.
In the 12 point.
Yeah. Bob gets 2 feet. We're pulling back.
Yeah.
Okay, so why are you riding his heel
Okay,
horse?
so my sorrow, he was fine to ride, but I just liked the way Bob's horse, Trigger, he's shorter strided, he's smaller. My other horse, like when you're running that fast, you get him really spread out. My other horse is Cowie, he'd read the cow, but I was just I liked the way his feet, I guess, moved for me. Like it's easier for him to time the steer up. It might take me a little bit longer for the other horse to get. That was just my opinion, After the first day, I told Chris, his dad, that's his horse, and he saw me riding him. He said, "Oh, Trigger got to go with Dad."
Daddy, yeah.
He was super pumped about it, and when we got here for the perfs in the semifinals, they asked if I was going to change it, and I said, "I'm not getting off of him. He's getting it." So he worked awesome. He's fast. He's free. He's easy. I mean, you can't really ask for a better horse, and I appreciate them letting me ride him because he's a champ.
And your horse was part of the emotion of the win too.
Oh, yeah.
Now I know that horse's story a little bit. We've talked about it for a while, but can you give us the rundown?
Yeah, so the horse I was riding, I had a Starlight Gypsy that was 5, and Charlie rode him at the NFR, and then I was just kind of starting to get with him after that point. And in St. Paul, Oregon, he got a disease, and he died on me. So I went back to the ranch where these gypsies were, and I got to pick a 2-year-old. And luckily my brother-in-law was there. I got to give him a little credit, like I don't like doing. But, yeah, he was there, and he kind of pointed me in the right direction, and that's kind of how it turned out. In the first year I was going to stay home, I had a ton of phone calls just, "Okay, you're not rodeoing, you want to get rid of this horse?" Like, no, I'm not done yet. And when I go, that's the reason I'm not rodeoing. I want to have a good horse, but it's more so the story behind it than there's no money that could replace the story of going out in the pasture and picking him out. And I mean, I had him since he was 2. He's the first one I really fully trained all the way. And I'm not really that much of a horse trainer, so it's pretty special to me to get on a big stage and have a good win with him. But
Yeah.
it's pretty special.
And Starlight Gypsies. So you've had a couple of them now.
Yeah.
But your original one came from LD, or
Trevor.
came from Trevor. Gotcha.
Yeah, he was actually 3-year-old, and Trevor was riding him at one around Mocha's Jackpots. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I was looking for something bad, and I walked up to him. I said, "Man, I want that horse. He's a freak, I can tell." And he said, "Well, first jackpot, he's super green, but here we go." And so when I bought him, I just took him everywhere and kind of seasoned him, and then me and Logan did good on the college finals on him, ended up 16th on him, and then that happened, which sucked because he was super crazy special. But it all worked out. There was a plan behind it, and now Bay's one of the top ones I'll ever have for sure.
We'll call it Bay.
Little Bay.
Bay.
Yeah, it's real special.
Little Bay. Little Bay. Kirby, are you training? Do you have outside horses right now? Obviously not at this very second, but what's your training program like?
I do have some. I sent a bunch of them home. Before we left, I sent a bunch of them home just to, make it easier on me and not having to worry about them. But I do have some outside horses, and when I get back, I hope I get them all back because I was really getting to some good parts in them and really enjoying them. But I think the little break is going to help them, and it's obviously like anything else. A little bit of time, they're going to get fatter, more healthy, and probably come back wanting to do more. But when I left, we had plenty on our plate to do, so it was kind of nice, a breath of fresh air to come do it. And obviously, it's better when you're winning. So.
Yeah, and what are your goals as far as your horse training program? Like, is that something that, you're having fun rodeoing right now. Is that something that you want to keep pursuing on the horse training thing aggressively, or putting you on the spot right now? I need you to know what you're going to do with your life.
Yeah.
Bring it.
All of it, yes. Please tell me.
I like both of them, obviously. I do like both of them. I think you can do both of them, no doubt. I wouldn't say I'd lean 110% into that, because but there's a lot of guys that do both. And they're good at it. I think it makes it us sharper to do this and do that. We get plenty of the only time you're gone, if you're gone the whole time, is 3 months. More or less, somewhere around there. But honestly, it's good for them to get a break sometimes.
He's going to rodeo for a couple of years.
Yeah. Yes. Next year for sure we're going to have to. So.
Yeah.
And if it goes good, keep on, I guess. But I for sure want to do, like the Riata Buckle, the Futurities, they're great for us. And they're, it's unreal. The Riata Buckle last year, we won third or fourth. And, I wish he had 15 of them. We'd go to every one of them because they were that good, and people, they know how good they were because they want to go do it. But as far as, we'll be at Fort Worth for the big show and, continue to get people that send us nice horses and they just get better and you can just make them better. So.
I am going to take a quick pause here to tell you about our sponsors at Fastback Ropes. Fastback Ropes has supported the Score and the Team Roping Journal since the very beginning, and we are so grateful for that team, for Coy and Terry and JC and everybody who busts their butt there at Fastback to make sure the ropes are ready for everybody who needs them. They're a rope company that truly goes from top to bottom of the industry, and we are grateful for them. Now, today we want to talk about the Cure, the Fastback Ropes all nylon 4-strand rope with a purple poly core. It's small and light with great tip weight. Its vibrant chartreuse is very, very highly visible, and for every Cure sold, $1 is donated to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. It's a rope you can feel very good about stocking up on. Check them out at fastbackropes.com. Do you guys get to rope together at home a bunch, or?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he comes to the house quite a bit, actually. I've been breaking in steers a lot for the Lee Ranch back home, doing my open ropings and stuff, so we have a lot to break in, and Kirby can bring his young horses, and I can do some training on mine, and it's pretty good for both of our programs, really. I don't have near as many as he does, but I like to keep mine a little thinner, that way I can have more time for mine. Two different philosophies, but same goal at the end.
Mm-hmm. What is roping producing a goal of yours in the future?
I've had a lot of fun with my rodeo. It's gone really good. It's an amateur rodeo right now. I'm not sure what direction I'm going to keep going, but the team roping's been awesome. We added like 8,000 this year, and everybody was there, and it was good for the little town. It came a pouring rain in the short round, but it was still fast and fun. But the producing's fun, and honestly, the steer deal helped me because breaking them in, then the guys have fresh steers all the time. And the main thing about producing roping, if you have good steers, you're going to have good roping. And it kind of got me back involved with the guys since I've been out, and I missed it, and all the camaraderie and stuff, and Dad flags, and he enjoys being around the guys. So
he rides Trigger. That's his flag horse.
His flag horse.
That's his flag horse. And if he doesn't have Trigger flag on, he's not happy. But no, it's fun. I love producing. I'm going to work with Pace to do some X Factor stuff, and my goal is one day is to have a really big open roping, but my weekly ropings do so good too that just baby steps, and the guys have been really good to me, and which they believe in what I do and know I'm going to have the steers prepared as best I can. I think that helps me though, is being a roper, knowing what you want to rope, and then having that for them. There's always going to be a few hiccups, but it's been really, really good so far.
Very good. Kirby, do you have some horses for the Riata Buckle this year? Quite a few?
I have probably actually today I talked to Ross Ashford about it. I was trying to figure out what I was going to ride and what I could get him on because he was quizzing me about it. And, I've got, I think, 3 or 4, but 2 to 3 to heel on for sure. But I just told him I think it'd be kind of a cool deal. I have one of my friends back home has got a Mr. Plain Stylish. It's pretty good. He's just 4. And he's just a good horse. And that deal, obviously it's not any kind of judge. The horse is nice. He's big stop, nice, easy. But, you have to have him ready to go for a open roping, and you need guys on him that can have 5 steers. It's pretty full contact. They didn't play around last year, and I think that's a cool deal. It's the Riata Buckle. I was super thrilled and happy and thought he did a great job. And like I said, I wish he had 15 more of them. But I do have, a few heel horses, and I have one head horse. I don't know if I'll ever get that lucky again and catch 4 steers in a row and win first. But I do have one I can head on. But I want to have them prepared and, just be ready to go win there, because it's such a, the fees are. So, they're just cheaper fees. They're not cheap, but they're
for
not.
How much you can
win.
Yeah.
When they started saying how much we won, I was like, golly,
And then you got like extra checks in the mail afterwards,
yeah, then
right?
we got more checks, and I was like, this is like Christmas. My mom called me and told me, and I was like, what do you mean those are? She's like, yeah, it says they didn't pay our back right. And I was like, well, that usually means we have to send them money. But that's always a good thing we didn't.
Yeah, for sure. Billy Bob, what do you have for Riata horses this year?
I have one at home right now. That's about it. But we're dang sure gonna go.
We'll find some more.
Yeah, we're gonna for sure try to keep one a year. Just so we can go enter. It was such a good deal. But as far as right now, I just have one. The one I rode last year is 6 now, so I can't ride him. But yeah, we'll be there.
Good. All right, so winter rodeos, that's the goal, right? Get into the winter rodeos, and then he committed you to rodeo.
Yeah, I obviously want to do it. This is my first year to ever come out here, and it was kind of abrupt. I was on the way home from Mount Pleasant, and he called me and said, hey. I said, yeah. And he said, do you want to go rodeo? I was like, yeah, I would like that. And he's like, well, I need to know tomorrow. I was like, yeah, let's just do it, and we'll.
Oh no, we'll see.
Yeah, he talked me into it, but I'm so glad I got to come, because, in the back of my mind, I really wanted to do it. I just didn't want anybody to be mad at me for, they spend money on me and the horses and the time. But at the end of the day, I think it actually helps them, and you keep your friends and your family close, and they'll send them back to you. So it's pretty cool. I think everybody back home, after I talked to them, they were happy to see me go do it. So, you rope all your life, you can't. Obviously, it's good to. Bob kind of talked to me about that, but it's always obviously good to at least go see what you're made of. And we've been winning, so it's been good.
Has money been, or did you? You said it was a pretty abrupt decision, but to decide out of nowhere that you're going to come rodeo and gas is $4 a gallon, trucks, trailers, horses, everything costs a lot.
Funny, that's what we've been talking about. Any diesel sponsors listening? That was one of our conversations the other day.
Last
Honestly,
week,
we're like, golly, how good would it be to have that stuff? And then actually, because what the good thing about the rodeos is now, from when I was out here, is they pay more monies. You can kind of keep your money together better and not have to just max a steer out all the way. 1 week we went and caught 2 steers and won a couple thousand. That's not a ton, but it keeps you going.
Yeah.
So right now it's the most feasible time to rodeo. Rodeo's getting so much better. And while we have good horses and stuff like that, we can always stay home and run cows and ride horses.
You have guys that, like Driggers, he's trying to make it better for us. The pay scale, we went and caught 2 steers, and we won 10th at one and 8th at the other, and win 1,200 to 1,500. Where can you have to blitz one at home to win 1,500.
Yeah.
And the guys are up good at home too. When everybody's gone, they think it's still a walk in the park. It's not. Them guys, there's a lot of guys at home that still rope good, and they can do it, and they're, got good horses, great runs. You give a guy a good steer, they're going to make him good. There's no secret. It's cool to see the money more spread out, and it's easier to kind of keep the wheels turning, I guess, more say.
Yeah, and the setups out here are so much different. Back home it's usually all pretty fast. And out here they're kind of out here, and we can use our horses more, which that's kind of more my game anyway. I'm not an over-the-shoots type of person, really. So anything we can come to with good setups and good steers that are kind of out there a little better, is use your game. You can't be afraid to admit your game. But
Kirby, speaking of using horses, I promise I won't keep you guys much longer. But speaking of using horses, I don't know where you learned your horsemanship from. How did you develop into becoming a horse trainer or wanting to become a horse trainer?
My dad, he doesn't really believe in. He rode cutting horses for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
He started a bunch of cutting horses like Kobe Wood and the Allsups and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he never really let me have a practice horse, which it was kind of like just do whatever you can do. There's actually a horse that Jace Davis has got. He's a sorrel. He's a bigger horse, but my dad, we bought him when he was 3, and he sent him to Walter and Conley Donnell for 30 days, and he said, "That's your horse, figure it out." And I rode him till he was like 12, and Jace bought him, and he actually, one of my horses got crippled during the UPA finals one year, and I said, "Hey, can I ride Risky?" And he said, "Sure." So you want to practice on him? And I said, "Yeah, let me run a few on him." And I went to his house, and Chet White was heading, and I got on him, loped him around. I ran one steer and got off. He said, "Do you not want to ride him?" I said, "Man, feels like the last steer I ever ran on him." He said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Man, that makes me feel good." It was pretty cool, but mainly my dad, and I helped Clay Logan for a little bit. He taught me a lot. He helped me. Just the mentors, you can see the people, there's guys you can learn so much from. Just looking at Trevor and, guys like them. Steve, Cade, they're just simply badass to watch. You can take their stuff, put it with your stuff. It's just trial and error. So, but mainly my dad, he didn't really believe in a practice horse, which now we've got them at the house. You can get on and run steers. I wouldn't even call them practice horses. They're just like, "Oh, this horse is easy, just run steers on him." But that was the main thing for him, was for me to figure out how to learn it. And I'm glad he did, because there's a lot of guys out here that they'll have their horse doing some crazy stuff. And the 2 horses in the trailer that I brought are both 7 years old, and they're taking it like champs. 6 and 7, sorry. But they're taking it like champs. And I started the sorrel horse. I've got 2 in the heeling, and I showed him when he was 5. He had a bad he crippled himself for about 4 months, and I didn't show him when he was 6. And he's a freak, and he's easy to ride. And I got him injected this week, and I was trying to ride him around the track, and he was for sure telling me he felt a lot better. So I'm excited to get back on him.
That's awesome. Oh man, you didn't watch the rest of it at all. Did you watch Driggers go?
No, I did, yeah.
You did?
But when, I guess the last couple teams, I turned around and was walking off, and then I watched bits and pieces of it, but I was so freaking nervous. I didn't really want to. I literally told Driggers, I said, "You might have to pick me up. I might pass out." Which he's like, "No, you won Cheyenne, whatever, cool. Sorry." But it's a big deal to me,
Yeah.
No, he told us good job.
He did.
He was
super
cool
nice
about
it. It's cool to see the guy. They don't. Some of them will talk to you every time, and he's for sure one of them. And I'm super appreciative of that. Guys like us, we see that.
Yeah.
And it's cool to some of the ones that are actually kind of come out of the cage and you try to talk to them, but it's super short. Now they have a conversation with you. It's nothing you hold against them. They're just kind of standoffish. But it's for sure cool to see guys congratulate you and text you and be nice and just they're just giving. But it's cool to see that once you kind of can get around them.
Because now you're a big deal because you just won Cheyenne. So
finally got a text back.
Yeah, we actually got text from them. That's the first time.
Yeah.
It wasn't a trade, so it's weird. It's weird.
Oh,
the guys have been really good,
yeah.
though. Honestly, they've been really good. Ever since I started the roping's helped me, I think. I don't know, but whatever. It's we got a bunch of messages from a bunch of them today, so real appreciative. We want to. I would love to see like the bulldogging mentality. All those guys pull for each other and stuff, which it's getting better.
At Belfouche at the bulldogging, I was at the trailer, and it was in the main parking area where everybody was parked, and I was saddling my horse, and you can hear it's like a basketball game. You can hear them cheering. That's just super cool. Like they pull for each other, and they do more. We have our friends, but I'd like to see. It would be cool to see everybody cheer for everybody, But they all ride everybody's horses, so they have to, and I get it.
Yeah.
But still, their attitudes and their mentality on friendships and winning is, I mean, they put everybody first, not just themselves. I mean, that's pretty.
Yeah.
You can say that they don't, but they really do. I mean, they're pretty. You can tell that's probably one of the most unselfish events.
Awesome.
Like it's,
Yeah.
they cheer for each other and they mean it. It's not like, oh, good, hey, good shot, and they turn around and say, well, you could have healed him faster. It's like they mean. I mean, they
They'll
give.
hurt your hands.
Yeah, they'll slap you.
Yeah.
And they, I mean,
I love getting in the mix. I love going up there and giving a double
With
hand.
the Bulldoggers?
And I think I think Charlie was the one, honestly, that, because every time Bucky Campbell roped, he'd walk up and go, yeah, Buck, let's go, Buck. And so now I do it to everybody. And it's like, I get some weird looks and stuff, but I mean, golly, we're competing against ourselves at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So why not wish the best for everybody, you know? But it's a pretty cool sport, man. It's getting better. A lot of people are growing together, really.
It's funny because I don't think I realized that until recently. Not recently, I don't know, 5 years in or something. Because people would ask me, like, what people who have made the NFR 5 times will say, like, well, what's Clay Tryon really like? Or like, what's Trevor really like? And which it's funny when people in my head don't, because it's kind of my job to know everybody. I know everybody's personalities, I guess, but I assume you all know each other just as well, but you don't. You sit in your trailers and
exactly
hang out.
Yeah, no, it's been really good and fun. I'm just glad we came out here, and obviously after today, but it's been fun getting back into the swing and getting around everybody. And I've got a family back in Idaho that we stay with, and they have 2 little kids now that kind of grew fond of me, and it's good to go and hang out with them and see. I mean, you meet lifelong friends out here. You know, it's good to see them, and now Kirby gets a little taste of it, gets to meet all these people and see what it's about. And I tell you, we went to Big Fork, and we were kind of like, we were just adventurers. We were driving around the lake in awe of how beautiful it was.
Yeah, they're probably,
like, you here to rodeo, or are you sightseeing, or no? We're gonna do both, actually. But it was one of those things, like, we just came out here to try to get in the buildings, you know. We weren't trying to overdo anything, you know, and here we are. It's crazy how it turns out better when you're not overthinking it.
Here we are. This is glamorous. Your trailer is very glamorous, but here we are. Here we are.
We'll leave it at that.
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Congratulations. Thank you to Kirby and Billy Bob for spending some time with us, sticking around after the perf to visit. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you all for listening to today's episode of The Score. Today's episode is brought to you by Fastback Ropes. You can order ropes at fastbackropes.com or pretty much anywhere ropes are sold. And of course, we want you to know that if you missed any of the Cheyenne Frontier Days action, there is a ton of content that we churned out over the last couple weeks on Instagram, TikTok, on our website, teamropingjournal.com, and of course on Facebook. So thank you all for sticking with us. We will talk to you again next week.